But while we are live, I'm going to pay for parking. Have you paid for parking?
I'm in a unmarked spot today.
Look at you, baller status. I saw a sign a few blocks down where it's like $50 a month to park.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the math. $50 a month to park or gamble with the city of Raleigh and pay parking tickets as needed. I did the math.
$15 at a time. So, yeah.
I have to get a ticket 4 times in a month to take over.
I don't think you do.
And I don't. I usually get maybe 2 or 3 tickets a month. So I'd rather give it to the city. You know, that's my dollar.
Contributing.
That's my dollars at work. Give it to some company.
So 50 seems really, really cheap too. I don't know where you saw that.
No, it's over by the Longleaf Hotel.
Okay. The sign that says, like, did you read that correctly?
Did you read that sign correctly? $50 a month. And I was like, yeah, is my car getting broken into? Like, what's happening here? You know what? I'll gamble. I will gamble with the city of Raleigh.
Everything.
That's kind of the theme today, isn't it? Gambling?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. All right. Also, I didn't really do much with my mental health day yesterday. I just worked because I'm a sicko. All right. Let's see. Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management. You can put into the cloud every single time you get a parking ticket from the city of Raleigh, then do the math to see if it actually is more economical to gamble with the city of Raleigh than it is to pay $50 a month in a nondescript parking lot across from a hotel. Okay. Sounds like a plan to me.
Yes.
Also, it is just past 2:00. You know what that means? It is time for an OG Live brought to you by Butcher's Market. Check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. You are looking at a gorgeous weekend. So you know what you need to do? Go to the Butcher's Market, get some stuff to grill out. You do a little home gating because, folks, I was looking at the college football slate this weekend.
Home gating.
Not tailgating. Home gating.
Okay.
Look, man, spend more time cooking and enjoying that than watching some of the garbage football that is on deck this weekend. But we'll get into some ACC football picks, some college football picks in the NFL as well. But again, it's all brought to you by the Butcher's Market. Check them out online at thebutchersmarkets.com. You can get OG Light at select Butcher's Markets location. Thanks to Hayes Permar for filling in yesterday. My side of the desk wasn't too disheveled when I got in today.
No, he couldn't quite figure out how to frame himself.
So. Which is strange because he's a theater kid. You'd think he would know where his spots are, right?
Yeah.
And he works at a theater, owns it, and the camera's right here.
He was very concerned about, he wanted an official air check for being blamed for the 2-hour podcast.
Did I blame him?
Yes.
No. I blamed Chip and Hayes.
Oh, okay. It was a double combo. He took it personal.
And that's when I took it personal.
Yeah.
No, so you can only have one. You can have Hayes, you can have Chip, but you can't do both.
And not make it less than 2 hours. Yeah.
Because at that point, they're going to run a 2-man weave on you. And then you've lost control.
You're fine.
No, I know. Yeah, speaking of wagering, hell of a day. The duality of the NBA, man. It's like the NBA cannot have nice things. It's a new season. People are all caught up in the vibes of NBC. The John Tesh is playing. Michael Jordan's back on your television, talking about old stories, which people love, which we'll have a follow-up to that from yesterday. You got Victor Wembanyama dropping 40 points last night. Cooper Flagg. Yeah, so, like, everything's turning up, NBA. Everybody's happy about this. And then we get the news that over the last 4 years, the FBI has been investigating, and they finally brought forth indictments in 2 different operations. Portland Trail Blazers head coach and Miami Heat player. So you got Chauncey Billups, the Blazers head coach, and Miami Heat player Terry Rozier getting caught up in this in 2 different situations. You got one that's called Operation Nothing But Net.
Okay.
Which I thought was an ACC podcast.
They do love their naming conventions.
They do. And then the other one was, wait for it, Operation Royal Flush.
Ooh.
you can kind of figure out which one is which. With Operation Nothing But Net, it was related to point shaving and Terry Rozier. And then with Royal Flush, it was about an illegal poker ring that was tied to the mafia, like actual mob.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Prosecutors
rigged poker ring, we should say.
You're right. With like X-ray, like it had like a table that you could see underneath to show you the cards. They had a guy like somewhere off-site called the quarterback. I read some of the names in the indictment. You would think it was coming out of The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a cousin Bruce, like all sorts of crazy stuff, right? So Billups participated in games in Las Vegas around April of 2019 that included tampered shuffling machines. While the indictment states that the rigged poker schemes defrauded victims of $7.15 million in total, the games allegedly involved Billups defrauding victims of at least $50,000. According to the court filing, this is from the Washington Post, the game's organizers talked about the impact Billups had on other players at the table during an April 2019 game and about having Billups lose a few hands to avoid suspicion of cheating after he had won too many improbable hands. Quote, the one guy in the end acted like he wanted Chauncey to have his money. He was starstruck, wrote one of the alleged co-conspirators in an exchange included in the court filings. The other case was dubbed Nothing But Net and focused on suspicious betting activity involved in NBA games that prosecutors said were traced back to insider information supplied by players, including Terry Rozier and others. Billups is implicated but not charged in the sports betting case, described only as a co-conspirator who played in the NBA from 1997 to 2014 and has been a coach since 2021. I guess Tom Dundon doesn't have to worry about a buyout in that situation.
No, the big winner today is the Miami Heat, which gets out from under Terry Rozier's onerous contract.
Yeah, so they have both been placed on indefinite suspension from the NBA. That was announced today. But I think the key part here is that these are two separate instances of gambling involving NBA players. One is just a complete, like, rigged poker, like something out of Rounders type thing that has nothing really to do with legalized sports wagering and the implications of having gambling ads everywhere, including on this podcast. But like, you know, the irony of you got Shams Charania on ESPN talking to Greeny on Get Up, and while he's explaining all the things that have happened with the NBA and Terry Rozier and point shaving and prop betting inside information, what do you see in the lower third? You see an ESPN bet ad, right? So I think most people understand the amusement, the lack of self-awareness that you're talking about these things while you're advertising that these leagues are in bed with sports wagering. And I feel like that particular aspect of it, we just focus on that part. That anytime an athlete gets caught up in sports wagering, point shaving, prop bets, inside information, and things like that, the immediate knee-jerk reaction to this is, well, what do you expect when you get into bed with legalized sports wagering? And I feel like that is a lazy take. I feel that is a misinformed take. I feel like you're missing the point in that we get here. We get to this point that these things do get busted because everybody's interests are aligned now. You catch my catch my drift here? The FBI, the leagues, and the books themselves, the most important piece to the puzzle, the books themselves. It is everything in their power to make sure that everything is legal or on the up and up or the way it should be, because without that piece, the trust to gamble goes away. You might as well be betting on The Bachelor at that point. You might as well be betting on the WWE. And I know people do, but you get what I'm saying. Those are scripted events that, you know, buyer beware. When it comes to sports wagering, there is an actual level of chance involved, okay, that what you're watching is real, not rigged. It's pure competition, and everybody involved has to make sure that that's the case. Otherwise, it all falls apart. So I want you to think about it this way, especially with Michael Jordan all over your TV this week. Do you think that athletes haven't been gambling? Do you think that poker games haven't been taking place behind the scenes and things like that? Is that what you think? The reason why you're seeing more of these cases come up and more busts is because it's the system working rather than not. And I actually think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think you take the poker thing and throw it to the
Throw that
side.
to the
Unless,
side.
well, I don't know how Chauncey Billups ended up with a rigged poker game for the mob. I don't.
I don't know, man.
So that'll be a fascinating 30 for 30 brought to you by DraftKings, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yes.
The other part of this that's really interesting to me as someone who obviously enjoys gambling. It used to be when you gambled on sides, you gambled on totals. And only for the Super Bowl would you get individual prop bets.
Yeah.
Only for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, this is obviously before the widespread legalized gambling of mobile apps and everything else. But even if you went to a casino back in the day, you couldn't bet on, like when I went and lost a bunch of money on Duke in 2002, I couldn't bet on Jason Williams's point total. I could bet on Duke to either cover the number or not.
Yeah.
I could take Duke on the money line or not.
Yeah.
I could take the total of the game or not. And that was it, Joe. That was it. There were first half bets back then. Yes, you could bet on the first half. Yes, that was a thing. But what's happened is we've turned every event into the Super Bowl, and we've expanded all of these individual props to every single game. And right, if you're in the Super Bowl, guess what you're not going to jeopardize? Your chance to win the Super Bowl. So even if you're a bench warmer, you're not going to jeopardize your chance to win a Super Bowl. You're 99%, you're not going to be compromised. You're just not. You're not going to be willing to do that. But now that you get into the NBA and you can bet on the number of three-pointers an individual makes, I could approach a player like a Jonte Porter and say, I'm not even really asking you to shave points. I'm just asking you not to make a three.
Yeah.
If you want to make layups, go make layups.
Yeah.
I'm just saying to you, I need you to make one, and that's it.
Well, in the case of Rozier, he said, I'm going to have an injury in this game.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, you see all this money moving. And again, that's why I say the system works.
It does work, but I would also say, I think they've made a mistake in making every game the Super Bowl.
I got you.
In gambling, it was okay for the Super Bowl to be the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You didn't have to turn every Tuesday night game into, I can bet on this guy's threes made. I can bet on this guy's blocks plus rebounds plus this plus that. And I hear what you're saying. Well, if you're incentivizing someone to do something, well, then that's fine. But you could also bet on the under.
Yeah.
And that's where the player can control that. That's also where a player, even with Terry Rozier's money, is saying, well, I'm not really losing the game. I'm just not taking a three, or I'm going to check in and then all of a sudden pull a hammy. Yeah. And now all of a sudden the bets are legit because I played. So that's really hard to police. I'm obviously happy that they were able to eventually, but that's really hard to police. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's truly frightening about the second part of this with college basketball.
Yeah.
Based on the Pat 40 reporting that I had read before the show today. I like to bet on the first quarter and the first half and the third quarter. Do you know why?
Why?
I am convinced, and I know this for a fact, the players know the line for the full game. So whether you're winning, whether you're not, whether you're dicking around, whether you're not, you know the number for the full game.
Sure.
And you're gonna pull it out. You're gonna hold it. You're not gonna try to the end. The end of the first quarter. No, you're just playing.
Yeah.
End of the half, you're just playing.
Yeah.
End of the third quarter or the third quarter itself, you're just playing. But what this reporting and the FBI information suggests is that's where this gambler has been able to corrupt players by convincing them to throw or shave points in the first quarter, in the first half. For college basketball, he was making a lot of first half bets. So now that to me is like, you idiot. You didn't think people were fixing games in the first quarter because you thought, oh, no, they're just trying. But once you make it widespread,
yeah,
you know,
it's funny. That's counterintuitive to me because the knock in the NBA is things don't really get going until the fourth quarter.
Well, the NBA one to me is player props.
Yeah.
The college one to me is the halftime bets. And they were the 40 thing again was talking about how they were even targeting schools like North Carolina A&T that don't have a lot of money. So you could still get into that the original fear of gambling was, well, these are all amateurs.
Yeah.
They're all doing it for the love of the game. Well, AJ DeMantis is making $7 million this year. I mean, you're going to get him to fix something? Probably not. But you go down to A&T and offer a kid $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't need you to lose. I just need you to be down 8 at the half. Like, you can still win the game.
So,
I'm not asking you to lose the game.
So what's the solution here?
It's just like legalized drugs, Joe. I mean, you chase the bad guys, you put one fire out on someone else. Nature finds a way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you put one fire out, another one's going to start.
Yeah.
And it's not banning all of these things. I mean, I think you could roll back. I think you could roll back the legalized prop bets. I think you could.
I think that's if we were to do something here, that's the initial move. Get rid of the props. But you have to remember, and again,
or you would do props in such a way that you could only get them as an over. You can't bet on an under.
That would make sense.
That could be a compromise that these sites make.
Yes.
That they could say
overs only.
You're incentivizing them to perform. That's not throwing something.
Yeah,
that's incentivizing them to perform.
I do think that the easy solution here is to go back to what you said at the beginning. Most wagers, as I knew them growing up, even down in middle school when you had the kid with a sheet, was simply about who do you expect to win and by how much.
Yeah, or pick a winner.
Or just
a parlay pool.
Yes.
Hey, can you get 5?
That was it.
Yeah.
That's what I did at St. Joan of Arc. It was one, industrious kid with a sheet and said, pick these 5 and then you're good to go, right? Can you bring that back? I don't know, because once again, if I was to put the onus on the companies, that is where we are. You go back, and I know Real Sports had done a feature on Better, which was even more granular betting beyond just player props and things like that. We're talking about what's going to happen in the next 10 seconds and that kind of stuff.
Baseball, we've seen this with the first pitch, ball or strike, and the pitcher throwing it wildly out of the zone. Like, hey, buddy.
And essentially what they're doing is they are taking what has been so successful in the video game world, microtransactions, and now applying them to sports wagering to extract more out of you. I can see where that is a legitimate problem. But I would say that I still believe that the system is working, and that the reason why it appears that we're getting more of these things happening is because we now have systems in place that flag it. You can monitor them. You can see the money and the outlier bets and things like that then bring it. This is a 4-year investigation, by the way.
Right.
4-year investigation, especially that was more so on the poker thing, right? But every instance of somebody in sports getting caught for a prop bet or gambling when they're not supposed to be gambling has all come through the system working the way that it's supposed to work. Back when we were litigating whether or not sports wagering should be legal in the state of North Carolina, it was about, well, remember the Dixie Classic. I'm like, well, maybe the Dixie Classic never happens or gets caught sooner if we had those systems in place.
Right.
Rather than it being tied to the actual mob back in the day. So,
and look at the mob. Maybe that's what today is all about. The mob's still there.
Hey, man, they're never going away.
Oh, you want to legalize your shit, put it on the NFL, do all the stuff?
We'll find
That's
a way.
Cool.
That's where
we'll
life
still find you, buddy.
I was going to say, you want to talk about life finding a way? You want to go full Dr. Ian Malcolm on all this? The mob will find a way.
My people.
I mean, look, man,
they know how to work the corners.
But hey,
legitimately,
heroin. No, can't do that.
No.
That's a no. That's always the end all and be all of every mob movie. Oh, this prostitution, gambling, yada yada yada. Hey, don't you touch that? Don't you touch those drugs? That's a bridge too far. Now, I brought up Michael Jordan because, again, the irony in all of this is that Michael Jordan's back in our lives.
Yes.
And I mean, I would assume that what Chauncey Billups should do is go play baseball for a year or two.
I've seen a lot of those tweets.
So Brian Curtis does a podcast for the Ringer called the Press Box Podcast. It's like a media podcast, a sports media podcast. And he has a bit called the Overworked Twitter Joke of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan is the overworked Twitter joke of the week. Although we do have a follow-up to something that had occurred on the NBC broadcast. So I guess what they did was they took for the NBC Jordan features, they took what worked in the Last Dance documentary.
Mm-hmm.
How about we put Michael Jordan on a couch and let him talk about the old days? It worked for this doc in the pandemic.
Tell me a story.
Why won't it work for us? So he tells this story. I know you played this clip yesterday. I did not see this clip, so I'm going to play it again for my own setup. So here's Jordan on NBC talking about the last time he touched a basketball.
He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, I want you to shoot one free throw. I said, really? Now, I already paid for the house. It's not like he got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, it's the most nervous I've been in years.
Stop it.
In years.
Stop it. Come on.
And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago.
Right.
So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball.
I hope you switched it.
Absolutely.
I love the confidence in which he says it. Now, when this clip aired on, what was it, Tuesday night, people are wondering, where the hell is the footage? There's got to be footage.
Yes.
Of course there's footage. Sure enough, it populated on the internet. Here's the footage of Jordan at the house that he sold. And here are the kids at the free throw line watching him.
Jacob.
How come they can go over this line when the
You got it?
when the what?
They can. But you know where that line come from? The line used to be in. We moved it out.
Right.
How? What?
Close.
Look at you.
Yeah,
You know.
Lucas, move back,
See
buddy.
the center circle?
Move back.
Old guy.
You remember the center circle? They didn't have it. Will Chamberlain used to take a drive, take off, and lay up. That was the free throw. So now you can't start the shot outside the center circle, and you can't break this line until it hits the rim. That's a Wilt Chamberlain rule. Lord have mercy. Please make it.
And hell if he didn't actually swish it.
I mean, everyone likes all these stories except Colin Cowherd. Did you see Colin Cowherd? He was all mad.
No,
Like,
I didn't see it.
Jordan 62. And
What was his point?
they should be Tyrese Halliburton should be doing this for NBC because they need to embrace the new, and they needed to have Cooper Flagg on 40 times in a year.
Oh,
That's why, because they need white and they need American players and college players. He didn't say white.
no. I know
editorializing.
what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know,
I think there's a balance. I know that going into it, my general attitude towards Michael Jordan features on NBC was one of an eye roll, because it's like, how many times do we need to be told Michael Jordan is awesome? How many times do we need Michael Jordan to sit there and tell you that he took it personally? How many times do we need Michael Jordan to basically shape the mythology that by now we all kind of understand and make way for the new players? I have more of a problem with inside the NBA, who they're paid millions of dollars to watch a product they clearly don't like. So guys, let's just move on, right? But there's a balance to it. There's always a balance to it. So just like NFL people love watching coaches gather around and tell old stories about how they won or lost that Super Bowl. So the Jordan stuff doesn't necessarily bother me as long as you're balancing it with other stuff. But I think we would all agree that if the NBA is going to survive, it needs to get younger, right? You need younger people to watch. I don't know what Michael Jordan does for that, but if it's to get old people back who might have abandoned the NBA for a variety of reasons, maybe that works.
Michael Jordan already gave the NBA that gift, though, because 92 Dream Team is really what launched the NBA as a global game. And you see it now, all of the international players that dominate the NBA right now. That doesn't happen without Michael Jordan and the Dream Team in 92.
Housekeeping.
Big thanks to Enovana. They bring you housekeeping. You can check them out online at enovana.com. Green Cleaning Solutions.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it green clean with Enovana.
Couple housekeeping notes. We've got the secret stash.
We do the pig. I like the pig.
We don't talk about the secret stash though. You have to go see the secret stash.
The pig is Mikey P did a good job with the pig.
The pig is fantastic. I might be commissioning the pig for other things. Let's just put it that way. It's the OG.shop. Again, that's the OG.shop. That is the secret stash. Oftentimes y'all will ask, where's that hat? Where'd you get that hat? Secret stash. I want a hoodie. Secret stash. Go to the OG.shop and you'll find some goodies there. Also, OG Light is out and about. I've asked Whit. I was at the fair yesterday.
Yeah, we need to get him those kegs back.
Well, that's a you problem.
Okay.
Are they tapped out? They're done?
Should be.
I was going to say, probably move some. Yeah. People drank some beer at the Ring of Fire,
Yeah.
right? I texted Whit while I was at the fair yesterday. I was at the NC Public House at Thornton Arena where they give out, you buy beer there. And I was like,
okay,
dude, OG Light at the fair. Who says no? So maybe not. It's not going to happen this upcoming weekend, but next North Carolina State Fair, we will have OG Light at the fair. Hey, look, I almost feel like
wait, you can get beer at the fair?
Yeah, you haven't gone to the fair in a hot minute, have you? It's been a long time since you can get beer.
But you have to stay in the hut it's the St. Catherine's Carnival.
So it used to be over at the Village of Yesteryear area.
Yeah.
And you only had a very weird spot. Now I preferred it there because you've got the bluegrass playing in the background.
There's the apples back there.
Yes.
Okay.
And the apple cider's all back
Apple
there.
Village.
But you were in a very tight spot.
Yeah.
So now they've moved it over to Dorton Arena.
That's not tight.
And it's got a little outdoor area. It's over by the giant Ferris wheel, the big the sky wheel one. So it's there and it's $10. You get a beer. Cool. At some point, we're going to be able to walk around the fair with a beer. I feel like that's the next step because I just don't like being contained in that situation.
There's some old hardliners in
the
state of North Carolina.
I know.
Agricultural
I know.
Probably not.
So get some OG Light. You can get at the Rialto. I know Hayes was here yesterday. They got Rialto. They got the OG Light on tap. You can go see some spooky movies and enjoy some OG Light. Of course, you can get it at Raleigh Times here in downtown Raleigh. You can get it at P Street Market as well.
Our guy, Chris
has it. And Beer Study in Durham also got a case last time I checked. So
we are expanding westward.
So go check it out. OG Light available at fine establishments. I went over to Happy and Hale on my way over to the studio today.
You're going to have to explain this smoothie because it sounds phenomenal.
So I went in for the usual. I was getting the Bueno Bowl with the spring mix because I needed a little bit of a detox after going to the fair yesterday.
Okay, smart move.
And they dropped a new smoothie today. It's a banana bread smoothie. This thing's got 21 grams of protein.
You're speaking my language with banana bread, by the way.
21 grams of protein. You might be inspired to go work out after you have this smoothie. Okay.
Crazy.
I know. Let's not get wild, right? So I was talking to the folks over at Happy and Hale, and they're just, they're figuring out how they went into it. And this is something that this is their first smoothie that has the protein already included.
Okay.
So, if you go to Happy and Hale, you can typically get a smoothie and you can add for protein add-ons, right? This one already has the protein in it. And it is like they liquefied banana bread and put it in a cup. It is phenomenal.
Sounds so good.
And it's got the right amount of spice too. They have nutmeg, the nutmeg is added and things like that. So it's not overly sweet. That was my one concern. Because how I am with sweet stuff.
You don't like sweet stuff.
No, it's not overly sweet. And I crushed that thing on my way over to the studio. So Happy and Hale dropped that new smoothie today, the banana bread smoothie. It is perfect for fall, man. Absolutely perfect for fall. So check them out. And if you haven't used the app yet, you can get that smoothie for 25% off. Whoa. Download the app today. Happy and Hale, schedule a pickup. Use that promo code OG25 when you order that banana bread smoothie, and you'll get 25% off.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale.
Big thanks to our friends at Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. You can check them out online at bugsbite.com. It's getting cooler outside, so you're not going to necessarily be worried about mosquitoes, but you probably should be worried about moisture under your house with some of the rain that we get. You might be worried about as it gets colder, rodents cockroaches
Taking shelter.
in your house. You don't want that. So contact our friends at bugsbite.com. You can bundle and save. And of course, our friends at Hometown Realty, you can check them out at myhtr.com. I actually saw Hometown Realty sponsoring some things at the fair. That was cool to see.
Yeah.
You think it'll ever be in our budget to do something at the fair? Besides finagling our way into it with OG Light.
Maybe.
We can like sponsor a tractor, maybe? I don't know. Hey, look, man, business expenses.
Hey.
Right? myhtr.com. You can buy and sell with confidence. I told you I was busy on
There's the pig.
my day off.
Pig needs a name.
He's just the hockey hog.
Pig needs a name.
We can come up do like a naming contest of some sort. I don't know. Yeah, I was messing around with Adobe is sunsetting a product that I'm using called Rush. So yesterday I had some time after checking off some hockey manager things. I'm like, all right, it's time to just deal with it. And I downloaded CapCut and started messing around with that. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll put this thing to use and see if I can come up with some new video transitions to get us in and out of the breaks and whatnot. So Mikey P's got some new designs. So I figured I'd remix some of his designs and do some stuff.
If I was Howard Stern, I would name the pig Maloney, but I'm not Howard Stern. So how about we call the pig Morgan? Because you're got your start with the Genuine Sports Pig.
You know
right?
what?
Wasn't that your first gig?
Legit? It was no, my first on-air hosting?
No, I thought your first gig was Morgan's producer.
No.
Oh.
No. My first.
How did I get that wrong?
No. What you're confusing, it's my first actual weekday show hosting
Was
gig
the Morning Mojo.
Was the Mojo with Morgan Patrick.
Okay.
So the Genuine Sports Pig.
The Genuine Sports Pig.
So
Morgan.
Let's call him Morgan.
Perfect.
You know what? I'll get him a shirt and I'll send it.
Yes.
I haven't talked to Morgan in about a year or two.
He's rocking with Coach Pete somewhere.
It's right. He's look, he is in the Home for Wayward ex-radio hosts along with Chuck Caton. So,
I saw Chuck at the Dave Olson golf tournament.
Hey, all I know is that could be me in a couple of years. I don't know.
Could be us right now.
We'll see how the podcasting thing works out. All right. So from the NBA over to college, I thought this was interesting. I got this in my email inbox today. It's from Evan Maya. Yet another college basketball number guy.
Okay. Not Bart
Torvik, not Ken Pom. Everybody's got their metrics.
So fake Bart Torvik now, since Bart Torvik's fake Ken Pom.
So I thought
free Ken Pom.
I thought this was interesting. He had ACC ceiling and floor outcomes for this upcoming year. Essentially, he ran through an insane amount of simulations. I think it was if I read correctly. Let me see if I can go back and pull up the email from Evan Maya so I can tell you exactly what happened here. A more interesting angle is to use the uncertainty estimates attached to each team's preseason projection to determine their ceiling and floor outcomes. Using 10,000 season simulations, I have calculated various possibilities for how the season will unfold. And two immediate takeaways from the ceiling and floor outcomes for the ACC related to our friends here in the Triangle. Duke is the one team in all of college basketball that has the narrowest variance.
Okay.
Preseason rank 3, median finish of 5, obviously a ceiling finish of 1, and a floor of 24. They are the tightest in variance.
Okay.
Not surprised. Say what you want about the talent level of this Duke team, it's still running at a high level with John Shire. And given the rest of the ACC, they are clearly head and shoulders above everybody else in terms of the preseason metrics. Do I expect them to win the ACC again this year? Yes. The next closest team would be Louisville. All the metrics for Louisville are good, but there's a sizable gap between Duke and everybody else. But here's the other part that I found interesting. Look at North Carolina and NC State. NC State are these two teams are nearly identical in Evan Maya's floor and ceiling variance. North Carolina has a preseason rank of 27. NC State has a preseason rank of 28. The median finish for North Carolina is 34. The median finish for NC State is 34. Ceiling for UNC, 8. Ceiling for State, 9. Floor for the Tar Heels, 86. Floor for NC State, 81. They are the same damn team, Joe. So if these teams are nearly identical, why is one group of fans super free? Yes, it's the Spider-Man pointing meme. So if these teams are nearly identical, Joe, why is one fan base hype and the other fan base fretting?
The coach.
Yeah, it's that simple, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird because UNC actually has some likable players. They have a likable roster. I mean, heck, your love affair with Caleb Wilson continues.
It only grows.
You sent me this clip.
Have fun off the court, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to make myself a legend here and win a bunch of games. So I didn't commit to Carolina to come here and go to karaoke night. So, yeah, I came here to be a great basketball player. So I do things that are kind of freeing mentally off the court because, I feel like it definitely is important for you to have a mental balance. You can't put all your mental cards in one deck. So I try to do things that kind of take my mind off basketball, but it's hard for me to do it. But it's good for me because, the ball is going to stop bouncing one day. You want to have certain stuff that you can fall back on. But I love basketball and I love the grind. I love seeing myself get better. So
I came here to be a legend. Put it on a shirt. Let's go.
I hope he lives up to the hype, man. I really do.
Well, I mean, he's there. We'll wait. Because he's talking all kinds.
In player form.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I could see
He's
that.
not scared.
Then that's good.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Hey, I came here to be a legend. I came here for the Red Reckoning.
That is what you want. That is what you want. With NC State, you're right. It's the way Will Wade has come in and how he's talked and how quickly he has reshaped that roster. And also it helps that people in the college basketball circle, like the media circles, the Illuminati, all like Will Wade. Whereas with Hubert Davis, for a variety of reasons, things have been a little icy at times. And also the real reason why you look at these two teams, and even though they're nearly identical, for NC State to bump up into that range is actual progress, right? This is what NC State fans have been wanting for a long time. For UNC, it's the opposite. It's whoa. Why are we in the same boat as NC State? We should be in the same boat as Duke.
Yeah, there you go.
We should have the higher ceiling. We should have the higher floor. Not the same with NC State. That's a harsh reality to deal with. You were pointing at something. What do we got? From Patrick Cox on the YouTube comment section. Why is one program hype and the other fretting? Because Carolina measures themselves against Duke, not NC State. No, I get that. I get that. But we also understand that we're in a completely different world of college basketball right now. Now, Duke gets it. NC State now gets it with Will Wade. It looks like Carolina is getting around to getting it. But, buddy, are there coaches who continue to not get it? And I am ready for them to just get out of college basketball. I'm looking directly at you, Tom Izzo. I'm looking directly at you, Dan Hurley. And the reason why I say that is we have a little bit of news this week, all tying back to our guy, Herb Sendek. Back in September, this was under the radar because nobody talks about Santa Clara. Back in September, Santa Clara announced the signing of guard Tiari Darland from the Central African Republic. He spent the previous 2 years in the G League.
Okay.
First with the defunct Ignite initiative, and then with the Delaware Blue Colts and the Rip City Remix. He's 21. He's listed as a junior for Herb Sendek's team. He'll have 2 seasons of eligibility. The NCAA's decision to allow Darland to play for the Fighting Sendeks was because he never declared for the draft. And because of the era that we're in with name, image, and likeness and post-house settlement, they don't really see the distinction of having made some money in the G League versus having made some money or stipends while you were in Spain.
Sure.
We're already used to, and we've been used to, guys, and we see a couple on Duke's roster. We see a couple on Carolina's roster Like, I'm still a little
State
confused
too,
with the
yeah.
whole Luka Bogovic thing. Like, the NCAA cleared him, but the UNCs are still a little
That was a weird one.
weird about that. I was
Not gonna
texting-
lie to you.
No, I was texting with somebody today. Like, so if the NCAA says he's cool, that's weird. Unmute mic. Sound, no audio, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Is the audio back? Yeah, what did, what did Giglio touch?
This is me, is all I know. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, everything should be plugged in. We back? Paul, we back? Paul, you gotta let me know you're back.
Audio back.
Okay, audio back. Okay, audio. Okay. All right, well, since we're live, can you all tell me where you lost it? I'll just reset where we were with London Johnson. How about
Yes.
that? Okay, cool. So
Giglio's mic isn't on. I didn't.
your mic should be on. I don't know why. It should be on. Talk.
Hello.
I can hear you.
What did I do?
You didn't do anything. You're plugged in.
Okay.
You're plugged in. I don't know why your mic's not working. Hold on a second. Let's clear him out.
I'm gonna leave.
Hold on a second. Why is this not? Hold on. I think I might know what's going on here. Hold a second.
Oh.
Audio.
we
It's
lost
I know what's going on.
Testing the speakers on StreamYard.
Why is the Roadcaster not?
Sounds like they're working.
Okay. Hold on. I have to plug these things back in. I don't know why it did this. Kayo. I love that this is live.
Mix minus.
It has nothing to do with the mix minus. It has everything to do with the fact that the Roadcaster, for whatever reason, decided to lose its connection, and I don't know why. Let's see. Input. No. So tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do.
I gotta go back.
It has everything to do with my my audio. Audio. Okay. Let's see. Here's what we're gonna do. Joe, can you log in, please?
I'm in.
You're in. Okay. That has nothing to do with it. You stay in there.
Okay.
I'm backing out. I will
Okay.
be right back. And you just yap for I'm gonna unmute you. And
You
you
hear me?
yeah, well, if you unmute your mic, we'll
I
do
want
that.
to unmute my.
You're gonna
mic.
unmute your mic.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm backing out.
out.
Is that your audio or my audio?
That's your audio. So now it's just you. That's your audio.
Oh, okay.
That is what's going on.
That's kind of terrifying angle now, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna anyway. Just vamp. You know what? How about you talk about? The blinds.
Oh, the Bloomin' Blinds?
Mhm.
Oh, I can't hear anything now. So I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No. They can hear you.
Okay.
I turned off the Roadcaster, so just talk about the
Oh,
blinds
how do they hear me though?
because you're coming in through your Mac. audio.
From my Mac?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's kind of amazing. Well, look at that. Bloomin' Blinds. Hey, look at this. I did this yesterday. I'm a big nap person. You know what I like to do? I like to fall asleep on my couch, maybe a chair sometimes. The best way to do that is to hit up our friends at Bloomin' Blinds. Bloomin' Blinds. Hit them up. They will take care of you. And look at that. Bloomin' Blinds. Give them a call. 919-980-9815. Maybe you like to take a nap. They have room darkening shades. Maybe you just moved in somewhere and you don't want to be the one who puts your blinds up. Well, I got news for you. They can handle that. Or maybe you're like my wife and noticed there was mold on one of the blinds closest to the deck where there was like a water issue. And she was then able to get that replaced. So Bloom and Blinds can handle all of these things for you. That's Bloom and Blinds, 919-980-9815. Give me another ad, Joe. But which one haven't we done yet?
You know what?
While I'm hot here.
How about you do a
While I'm hot.
how about you do State Farm? Talk about
State Farm. Well, yes, I need to reach out to Matt Davis to make sure that he gets those kegs back to our friends at Bond Brothers. The best way to do that, though, for you to save money so you can afford that beer is to have a conversation. Give Matt Davis a call, see how you can save money on your insurance needs. 919-779-8277 or go to insuregarner.com. Now, once you save all that money, here's a great thing about Matt. He can help you then invest that money. He does financial advice services. So save some money, make some money. These are all great things that Matt can do for you. Give him a call, but you got to have a conversation. 919-779-8277.
Give me.
I got the swine here.
Give me long leaf.
It is Thursday, and we like to on Thursdays bring our show on the road to the Longleaf Swine. You know why? There's always parking on Edenton, and they have an unbelievable brunch on weekends. They also have fantastic different beers, including OG Light.
Okay, mute yourself.
Now I need to mute myself.
Yeah, mute yourself. All right, we're back. Everybody hear the audio now?
A combo. Oh,
I know. We got so many Gillios right now. It's too many Gillios. Too many Gillios. Y'all hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I had to reset my computer completely.
Interesting.
So, dude, I don't know.
Can I just say I'm happy that it was you, not me? I had a hard enough time yesterday rendering my video, which is why I didn't post until 2:30.
Yeah,
on YouTube. So here we go.
Okay. All right. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna do a full-on reset because I need to mentally reset.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop the other thing that I worked on. Ready for this one?
Let's see it.
Look, that's an 80s banger right there. Like that one?
Very nice.
Hey, cap cut, ladies and gentlemen. You say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That is incorrect.
This is great. Great call, T. Great call.
I am the AV geek. Okay. I don't know why the Roadcaster decided to just crap out on me all of a sudden. So reset of the Roadcaster didn't work. So I said, fine. I took the old Amnon Nissan approach. You know what Amnon would say back in Computers 2K? Did you reboot it? Yeah, I just did. Everything worked. All right. So where were we? Yes. Talking about these
the G League players being able to sign.
Yes.
And after playing in the G League, which it really triggered Tom Izzo,
well,
who is becoming one of your favorite coaches.
Yeah. The problem is, darn it, I lost all of I had them all loaded up, Joe.
Oh.
So hold on.
Would you like me to whinge like Tom Izzo? Or
no.
Would you like to hear it?
Well, I guess
from Tom Izzo.
So while this is all happening, I can actually multitask while we do this.
Okay.
So before we get to Tom Izzo clip in the Johnson portion of this whole entire thing, I want people to understand the distinction here. They're basically acting like, and all these coaches are acting like, oh, well, you see, if I can go and get a G League player, well, then what's stopping me from just going and seeing if I can recruit Victor Wembanyama?
Well, he said Draymond Green,
right?
And then he started listing all of the Michigan State players who are currently pros.
Oh, maybe I can go get Magic Johnson to show back up or something like that, right? And here's the Izzo clip that to me is so out of touch and also really disingenuous about what his actual concerns are.
Sprung on us again yesterday, where a guy can be in the G League for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's eligible. Most of my people knew nothing about it. I don't think our commissioner. I mean, I am not real excited about the NCAA or whoever's making these decisions without talking to us, just letting it go because they're afraid they're going to get sued. So you're right. I said that this really bothers your coach if you're Michigan State fans, but if you want a silver lining in a cloud, I am going to call Magic tonight. I'm going to call Jaren Jackson, Miles, Gary, Max. You know, this just goes to show you how ridiculous people that are in power make decisions. I mean, you know, and I'm going to get killed because someone's going to say, well, if they go pro, it doesn't work out, shouldn't they be able to come back? Well, what about the freshman you recruited there? That's somebody's son. And he thinks he's got himself a good place, and all of a sudden, shazam, they pull out of their hat and bring a 21 or 22-year-old in. To me, it's ridiculous. To me, it's embarrassing. And I love my job. I don't respect my profession. And I don't respect who's ever doing that. Whoever made those decisions, because they're afraid that a lawyer's going to sue them, sooner or later, you got to fight the fight.
And every time you do fight the fight, you lose.
I don't disagree with the final point about the NCAA sacking up and getting their own rules, making their own rules. I don't disagree with that because I think they should be able to make their own transfer rules. I think they should be able to make their own eligibility rules. But I understand how we got to this point because they had poor leadership for a very long time and refused to accept where the enterprise was going.
They refused to accept where the enterprise was going. The minute to change your sport, which how many times have we talked about what does the NCAA need? What does the in terms of basketball need? And they keep thinking that the magic bullet to fix college basketball is tinkering with the NCAA tournament. No, it is not. The minute the G League existed, the minute the G League came into existence, that should have been the wake-up call for the decision makers in college basketball to start getting with the times and understanding that you were going to be competing with other professional leagues. Once again, the U.S. is the only country where this happens. And then we get mad when everybody else is doing basketball the way that it should be done. And when you've already started to entertain bringing in European players that are going through academies and you can justify, well, it's a stipend, not a payment. It's a stipend, not a salary. Well, then you've already lost your own argument. You've already found ways around it. You've lost it. And now, in order to get college basketball, which I've been saying for years is a better product than the G League, that college basketball actually offers more exposure for players who are trying to get to the NBA than the G League. You should utilize the leverage you have as something in this country that people care about, an association with the universities, that Duke has a higher profile than a G League team, that Carolina has a higher profile than a European team. You have to completely and fundamentally change your system. And they refuse to do it because of some purity tests as it relates to college basketball. Meanwhile, other college sports have not had any issues with this. You notice that we talked to Tim Healy, NC State's hockey coach.
I was like, in what sense? But I know where you're going.
We talked to Tim Healy, NC State's hockey coach, earlier in the summer, post-house, and some of the things that are under the radar. We're focused on football. We're focused on basketball. You know who's thriving right now and can't get enough of this stuff because it makes for a better product?
College hockey.
College hockey. Penn State is going, would you rather play here in front of all these fans and the exposure of college athletics in Penn State than toiling away in the OHL, the ECHL, the AHL, or some juniors program? You can make more money here and play in better facilities than you would over here. That is a leverage point. That is an advantage you have as a college. For whatever reason, college basketball refuses to accept that. So you ask, well, how can college basketball get better? Compete. That's how you get better. Tell these prospects, hey, come here and play in front of a bunch of people in high-stakes games that'll better prepare you for the NBA than toiling away in some academy somewhere or going around in the G League at a bus and facilities that are not as good as what we have. And on top of that, we're going to outfit you in the finest gear. You see where I'm going with this? The same thing, by the way, has happened in soccer. You got dudes who have actually had cups of coffee in the Premier League playing soccer in college. So explain to me how Tom Izzo and similar to, and all these other coaches who are going, I guess I'll just go on being all sarcastic about this. You're actually doing a disservice to the actual profession you claim to love and the game that you love. This is an opportunity for college basketball, an opportunity for them. And instead, they're more inclined to be like, but what about the freshmen? Buddy, you ain't even playing the freshmen. What are you talking about?
Smartest thing, well, Mike Krzyzewski's said a lot of smart things, done a lot of smart things. But in 2017, when the FBI case widespread hit college basketball. He said, basketball players can make money at every level except ours.
And
Except
so
ours.
So rather than getting with the times,
it's 9 years ago now.
Rather than
9
going,
years
we have a better product, and yet we're limiting ourselves. It's the classic Simpsons meme of Principal Skinner. No, it is the world that is wrong, not college basketball. See where I'm going with this? But you know what? Tom Izzo is not the college basketball coach that annoys me the most.
Oh, man.
Believe it or not.
You're about to.
Believe it or not. You know who the college basketball coach that annoys me the most is?
I do. It's my guy from New Jersey.
It's Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley, Big East Media Day. Matt Norlander, our friend from CBS Sports, sat down with him, and Dan Hurley addressed his behavior. Here we go.
Couple days, a minimum.
Days?
Yeah, I mean, a couple days minimum.
And it wasn't you being like, I catch you on the wrong morning and last November, and you might be like, I'm going to retire. Like, this was like serious. Like, do I need to? Do I need to step away? Do I need? You got legitimately close to thinking like maybe you should be doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I had a shit year. You know, it was a shit year for me. I mean, it was. I didn't coach my best. I didn't lead my best. You know, I didn't put together, you know, a group that could compete for the things we wanted to compete for. You know, add on top of that, just some of the fatigue from, you know, what the last couple of years, as great as they were, there's a tax you pay for that. And then, you know, then you end the year with an emotional loss in a game like you felt like you had a chance to win and keep it going. And then you have one final incident to end the year, which takes all the focus from what you had done the last couple of years. And for, I would say, how emotional I was in the press conference, how emotional I was talking to Tracy after the game, and it was all my doing. I'm not a victim. We got enough victims in the world. You know, I did it to myself, and I did it throughout the year. Was not able to kind of celebrate the run that we had because all the attention was on the jackass that I acted like in the tunnel. And I think all those things combined to put me in a state where I had to consider, you know, what I wanted to do next.
So that's Dan Hurley talking to Matt.
Why didn't you like that?
The reason why I didn't like it is the time for reflection is after you've won back-to-back national championships. The time for reflection is, how do I adjust into what I am now as opposed to what I was leading up to this stuff? And for whatever reason, he thought he could still act like the underdog, still act like the guy that could be this and fight with everybody, with the fans. He also lost in that conversation was about, well, you know, maybe we should rethink how, you know, fans and tunnels and all this other stuff. No, how about you reassess how you go about these things? I've said this a bunch of times, and it applies to Dan Hurley more than anything else. When you win, it actually starts, okay? It starts. Who you actually are starts. Getting to that point, I'm not saying it's easy. What I'm saying, what's harder is, how do you handle the success that comes after that and changing your own mindset? And that kind of attitude grates on people after a while. And I'll be curious to see if he's actually taking what he says to heart and if he will actually change going forward. Or the next time there's some sort of bump in the road, he's going to start acting like that because that's what he's always done and that's what's always worked for him. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I didn't take that as him undergoing some sort of metamorphosis. I took that as him saying, yeah, I was an asshole. And I let my team down, or let myself down, or let whoever down there. That's how I interpreted what he said.
Now, I was an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to stop being an asshole?
I didn't hear him say that.
Okay.
That's all I'm going by.
Okay. I was an asshole. Yeah. Okay, cool.
You got to admit it first before you got to accept it.
You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you have to admit that you're an asshole before you can make the changes.
I didn't hear him make any promises. That's all.
That's the problem.
That's all.
That's the problem. All right, I think I'm completely reset here. Oh, there was another thing that I meant to do, but I had to reset my computer, so now I have to go out and do that. Big thanks to Two Roosters. Two Roosters, they've got their fall flavors in effect right now, which is awesome. One thing I was not aware of, but I should have known better, and maybe this is a suggestion for you. You know, Two Roosters can be at your wedding.
My gosh, what a win.
So we had one of our listeners text us this image, and accompanied with the text was, shout out to the corporate champions, Two Roosters. They catered my daughter's wedding this past weekend. Instead of cake, their first date was there. Everyone loved it, of course.
That's cool.
That's very neat that you had the first date at Two Roosters. So the corporate champions bringing people together and then celebrating those two people making vows. You love to see that. So if you've got a corporate event, you've got a family event, you've got a wedding.
Hey, Thanksgiving.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
All the people showing up for that?
That would be amazing.
All right, where are we? You did blinds?
I did the blinds. I did Matt Davis.
You did Matt Davis?
I did the swine.
And you did Longleaf Swine. So let's talk about Miller Lending, shall we? Check them out online at millerlending.com. You can talk to them about refinancing. What are you laughing at, Paul? What did Paul say? I'm Dan Hurley, and I'm an asshole. Everyone in the room. Hi, Dan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's got to accept it first.
That's a valid point. It's a valid point. What you have to accept.
All right. We're going to have a meeting real quick.
Oh, what are we having a meeting about? Hold on a second.
Let's have a meeting.
You got to move the information out from this slide that you've done, which is a great slide. Don't get me wrong. But it's behind that live and who's watching button. So I'm sitting here yesterday. I'm like,
you couldn't read millerlending.com?
I could not. And then I'm like trying to get the number, and I struggled with this one yesterday. So I just want to say I apologize to Gordon. I apologize to Austin.
Yeah.
But man, I was like, and I'm like hovering over it to try to get rid of it. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I could not get it to work to save my life. So I just winged it.
So what you're telling me is I can't take a day off.
No. We made it work. Okay. There's some free jazz involved, but
love it.
I don't know if anyone was getting a loan yesterday. That's all.
Love it. I love it. So go to millerlending.com/the-OG. That's our landing page. You can call them directly at 919-447-3377. The first step in admitting an issue is accepting that the math don't math. The math does not math on paying closing costs, paying down a mortgage rate. Typically, people refinance about every 4 years. It takes about 8 years to break even on those closing costs. You see where the math does not math? So all I ask is that you have a conversation with our friends at Miller Lending. Check them out online at millerlending.com/the-OG or call them directly at 919-447-3377. And when you take that thing to close, you will get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket. You'll also get a Joe Giglio game-worn rowback.
No, it's updated.
We've updated it now.
It's a Butcher's Market gift basket.
Oh, even better.
We have married our
We've married the corporate champions. I love it.
Yes.
Give them a call, 919-447-3377. You okay?
Paul has absolutely just got me in.
I wouldn't Google assholes anonymous if I were you.
It's because NC State moderator said that's a different AA.
Yeah, it's a different kind of AA. Moderator said I typed it into the Google Maps and it routed me to UNC football offices. Weird. Wow. Well, it's a hell of a transition as we got football this weekend.
I'm going to hide the comments.
Yes, hide the comments. It's for the best. It's for the best. So we got football this weekend. We've got North Carolina, Virginia. We got NC State, Pitt. Would you like to start with the Tar Heels or the Wolfpack?
Let's start with the Heels.
Okay. I find it interesting that a lot of response that I have been receiving in relation to discussions around North Carolina are, you guys aren't talking about football. And of course, my response to that is, well, what exactly is there to talk about with the Tar Heels in relation to football, especially when every week there's something new that comes out that people have to put out the fire, right? And this week was another one of those weeks in relation to Chandler Morris, who is the quarterback at Virginia, who's having a hell of a season for the Cavaliers, who are also having a hell of a season. They are in the Joe Giglio take advantage of your schedule tier. That's what they've done.
Masterfully.
And I expect them to win on Saturday because they've got a pretty potent offense going up against a pretty bad defense. And more so to the point, North Carolina doesn't have an offense that can keep up with what Virginia is doing. We don't have to rehash all of North Carolina's terrible offensive metrics and how they finish at or near the bottom of just about every category, and how Gio Lopez just cannot stretch the field. But can you
133 out of 136 in total offense, 124 out of 136 in scoring offense.
Now, what I find interesting is Chandler Morris could have been a Tar Heel, apparently, if believed some of the reporting from 2 weeks ago at The Athletic.
Okay.
This was something that was lost in the mix of all of the Palace intrigue that was coming out of the Keenan Football Center. Remember when they had their other open date following the Clemson game, and all the parents were talking to Pat Welter, and Ollie Conley was online talking about assistants looking for jobs for potential college football playoff bound teams and things like that. Lost in all that was a Bruce Feldman athletic piece, bylined by Brendan Marks and I believe Stuart Mandel as well, that started with Chandler Morris potentially having interest at playing at UNC. And that never came to fruition. Now he's at Virginia and he's balling out while North Carolina is struggling. Now, this seems to be misinterpreted as to what the point of the story was, because Bill Belichick was asked questions about Chandler Morris and his potential recruitment and whether or not he could have transferred there. Was there interest? Bill Belichick said, no, I don't know where that was made up from. We never talked to Chandler Morris. He said we talked to the agent, but it was unclear if he meant he talked to the agent or them, Mike Lombardi and Bill Belichick, the brain trust, talked to the agent during the portal process, or they had followed up with the agent following the report to say, hey, man, what is this about? Why are you saying this? So that seemed unclear, at least in the quotes that I saw. But I went back and I read the Athletic piece just like see, okay, was it really about like Chandler Morris openly saying he wanted to play at UNC and Mike Lombardi saying, hell no? No, it wasn't quite like that. It was more about Mike Lombardi's hubris. It was more about Mike Lombardi's arrogance. The point of that story in The Athletic was that people inside the building were looking at Mike Lombardi and seeing and identifying him as the problem, that he was that guy that came in and would not listen to anybody with a college acumen and said, and the quote was, y'all don't know what it takes to win in the NFL, so why should I listen to you? That was the point of that article. And that Chandler Morris, based on his stats, was not the kind of player they were looking for. He's too diminutive.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Gio Lopez is.
Yeah. Well, remember, Gio Lopez wasn't the guy they originally wanted.
Okay.
It was Ryan Brown from Purdue. And then they were like, no, because he was the one they initially identified.
Well, the good news for UNC is Chandler Morris was not at TCU as good as Josh Hoover is. So that's good. You already know you can't hang with Josh Hoover. So that's good.
Yeah.
You don't have to see him again.
Mm-hmm.
The bad news is Chandler Morris has been a really good college player who has saved Tony Elliott's job for him, has put Virginia in a position that I remember specifically when you brought this up in July, that Virginia potentially had the chance to make the ACC championship game, and you were laughed at. And I got to tell you, Joe, I'm going to do the thing you hate the most. After this, they finish at Cal, Wake at home, at Duke, VT. VT obviously being a rivalry game. VT's a home. I mean, if Duke doesn't get them, even if Duke gets them, they don't have a league loss.
Yeah.
So It's this weird, wide open thing. And we didn't talk about this. They beat a really bad Washington State team last week in a weird, wonky, saved by the book kind of way. Almost, I wish it would have been Carolina, because it would have been a classic Belichickian way to win a football game. They won a game last week because Washington State's deep returner caught the ball, but the up returner called a fair catch.
Mm-hmm.
In that exact scenario, you get the ball where it's caught, which was the 1 yard line. And Virginia ended up getting a safety on that possession and winning the game 22-20 because of a boneheaded fair catch decision by a bad football team. And the game happened to be up in Charlottesville. But those are exactly the kind of games you got to win if you're going to put together and take advantage of a schedule. The game at Louisville, where Louisville's offense gave them 14 points. Those are the kind of games that you got to win if you're going to take advantage of a schedule that's favorable. Beating Florida State in double overtime after Florida State was running hot, but playing with their food. Those are the kind of games you have to take advantage. Here's the thing I worry about for Carolina this week. Typically, when you have a game that you quote unquote get away with, you get a refocused team.
Mm-hmm.
You get a coach who says, hey guys, I told you to stop. I told you to listen to me.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to get a refocused effort from Virginia. And I found some amusing remarks in our YouTube comments about how, like, wait a second, does everyone think Carolina is their rival? Yes.
Yeah.
Every old ACC team thinks Carolina is their rival.
Yeah.
Specifically
Virginia. Oh, yes.
Because you got to remember, like, Virginia and Virginia Tech weren't in the same conference for like the longest time.
No.
Okay. So I think Virginia is going to be fired up for this football game. I think they're going to be refocused. I think they're too good offensively.
That's the thing.
I don't see Carolina had to have the ability to trade paint with them the way that State did in Raleigh, and State needed a mistake by Chandler Morris. He flat out made a mistake, threw it to the wrong guy, threw a pick at the end of that game that cost Virginia that non-conference game. So that's my concern for Carolina. Is I think you're going to get a refocused Virginia. And I think you're going to get Virginia's best shot on Saturday. It's one of those sleepy noon kicks. You know Virginia's going to be fired up.
Yeah.
I can't say the same about Carolina.
I think taking all that aside, and even the schools want to stick it to North Carolina to have their moment of trolling Bill Belichick and everything else, I think you just nailed it, and I had jotted this down. This game is going to come down to points. And the problem for North Carolina is they cannot reliably, consistently produce on offense. It's just a very unimaginative, limited offense going up against a high. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the reason why they ended up losing to State, you mentioned that mistake. They can. It kind of reminds me of when Cam Ward was at Miami. Hey, man, Chandler Morris is going to win you some games, but he could also put you in a position to lose some games, as we saw with that throw at the end against NC State. I don't see North Carolina punishing Virginia in that way. Now, back to the UNC thing and the why don't we talk about the football aspect of it? And I'm left with no other conclusion at this point, and be curious to see how things go the rest of the year. I guess this is the question to ponder. Do you think North Carolina's season would have gone differently if Bill Belichick didn't leave Mike Lombardi in charge of everything?
I don't think he takes the job if it, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that was in the back of his mind the whole time. Because remember last year,
I agree,
when they were doing their media stuff together, it was, oh man, the NFL and their nepotism.
Yep.
They don't know what they're doing.
He had his
They
crew.
can't give us a shot.
I agree. That's why
I like that voice. I don't know.
I
might need to workshop it, but
well, you know, when I was editing some stuff earlier in the week, Kelly wondered why we were talking like Mickey Mouse.
the Chuckamato voice.
And I was like, no, that was the Chuckamato. She's like, oh, okay, sounds like Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I know. So I agree with you. It was never going to happen. There was never a scenario where Bill Belichick was going to take this job without Mike Lombardi, which gets us to the thing about UNC. It's a whole package deal. If this were a normal football operation, they can look at what happened this year, say it didn't work, and then Bill Belichick can surround himself with a staff that understands college football. He doesn't want to do that. So they're going to have to get rid of everything wholesale. And that's why at the end of the year, we're probably looking for a new coach in Chapel Hill. Which gets us to NC State. Speaking of trading paint, that's what it comes down to against Pitt, does it not? It's another one of these can you trade paint games with the Wolfpack and the Nard Dog up in Pittsburgh.
I mean, sound like a State fan. Just beat Clemson.
Just go beat Clemson.
I mean, SMU did it. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, it's funny. Pitt is a team. Pitt is a not discussed team. I'm not spending a lot of time thinking about Pitt, not spending a lot of time watching Pitt. But when you look at what they are, they're just a pretty good. They're just a good team, just overall, right? Just an okay team.
They're Dave Doran with 2 division titles.
There is
that. And they actually have the conference title because they beat Wake in 23.
So there is that. Just go beat Clemson. Just go beat Clemson.
I don't know what your problem is.
So if there's anything that's been nagging NC State is that they haven't been able to become the version that I thought they should be this season. And that is offensively driven with CJ Bailey and putting you in a position to win games where the defense has to just make that one key stop like we saw earlier this year. That seemed to be the formula. Somewhere along the way, it has not worked itself out. Obviously, they got caught by Virginia Tech.
The second half of the game in Durham is where their season got derailed.
And then it got derailed there as well with the turnovers.
Here's the positive thing for NC State. And I alluded to this earlier in the week, but now I have the actual numbers for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Doran doesn't always win his games after an open date, but under Dave Doran 2.0, which is since the start of the 2020 season, he's 4-2 after an open date, which is actually pretty good if you look at the 2 losses. The first loss, you go back to that 20 season, was the pandemic year. It wasn't Cam Ward, it was Derek King with Miami.
Oh, geez.
And he put on a absolute laser show in the second half of that football game.
Yeah.
But NC State had a bunch of trick plays. My guy, Bailey Hockman, caught a double pass and had a convoy of blockers, scored a great touchdown. Shouts to Eagle Ridge legend Bailey Hockman. State lost to Miami in that game 44-41. Their other loss over that span was last year at Georgia Tech down in Atlanta in a game that they lost 30-29 because they couldn't execute the end game situation correctly, including a long missed kick, which would have been good from about 5 yards closer where it should have been. But again, there was some lacking end game execution there. But the wins were over Stanford last year, where they scored a season high 59 points. The big win over Clemson in 23 was after an open date. They beat Virginia Tech at home after an open date, and they went to BC in 21 and beat their nemesis after an open date. So there's something about the ability to refocus that's a little bit old school when it comes to Dave Doran. He's used his time wisely, if you will. It's not quite Andy Reid, but 4-2 since the start of the 2020 season. It's a pretty good number for him.
If NC State's going to make a bowl and we're going to get the Dave Doran goes out, whatever might happens. It has to start Saturday. I think everybody agrees there. Although this past weekend in the ACC is a reminder, this past weekend, and given the garbage slate that we have this weekend, we could see examples of this again. I'm not ready to call it with any game, really with any team at this point, but specifically NC State. I know what the sentiment was. They had a chance to get to 6-0. I know I invoked it, and obviously things fell apart after I invoked it, but that's neither here nor there. I know I've heard from some people who have said, quote, fuck Ovies, because I even mentioned the fact that they could be 6-0 going into the Notre Dame game. And we looked at the schedule post Notre Dame going, oh man, things are going to get dicey for you. Except that we've seen enough ACC football now to say, hey, we've seen Dave Doran pull some shit out of his ass in a football season before. What's to say it doesn't happen again? And with the high variance of success and failure with CJ Bailey in the offense, they might catch fire one day and get Miami. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. But that's where we are with NC State and Dave Doran. The one thing I don't want to do is if they do lose on Saturday, I don't know if I want to look at the sports phone. I really don't. It's going to be
2-0 against Pitt.
It's going to be something. All right, let's go to the NFL real quick before we tell you about our friends at DraftKings. So I was looking at, I was texting with Mike Kay over at the Charlotte Observer about what's up with Bryce Young. He was not at practice yesterday.
Okay.
But the thing is, he's not officially ruled out for Sunday's game against Buffalo.
Not officially out.
Not officially ruled out.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of keep an eye on that and see where it goes from there. But yes, he's not officially ruled out. I believe he's just listed as day-to-day right now, as it relates to the ankle injury that he suffered in their win over the Jets this weekend, which, by the way, the Carolina Reaper continues. I mean, you saw where Woody Johnson called out Justin Fields, and now Aaron Glenn's got to answer questions about what Woody Johnson said about Justin Fields. I mean, it is a hot freaking mess in New York once again. And of course, the less said about the Dolphins, the better. But yes, Mike McDaniel's on borrowed time down in Miami. All right, let's look at DraftKings. Carolina Panthers are a 7-point dog to the Buffalo Bills, which I'm surprised is not higher than that. But then again, the NFL is always kind of a wacky thing. I would imagine that Vegas would want Buffalo on a bounce back situation after they had their loss this season, right? You would think.
So got me started on the Bills.
What's wrong with the Bills? I heard you were at the WEG today. Like, you getting your Bills vibes?
I was. Yes.
Brownlow said she saw you there today.
She did. The Bills have actually lost 2 in a row.
That's right, 2 in a row.
That's why I thought they were going to bounce back against the Falcons, only for it to get put in their ear. So, whoosh. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
So
the NFL is so wacky this year. It's just, my gosh.
Well, as Jonathan Jones points out, the NFL is also annoyed. They're not happy. They're not happy with the fact that penalties are up by 8%. And up 13% from 2 years ago.
I gave you this free crack during the pandemic. I don't understand why you can't wean yourself off of it.
Now, Jonathan does some math in that story over at CBS, in that the changes to the kickoff rules have produced more plays, and with an increase in plays, there's been an increase in illegal contact penalties. Now, I think what the issue is, as you said, the free crack. I think people want to go back to pandemic rules where you could just freely go out there and throw the ball and pass it, like just
reminding people the pandemic rules were, unless it was an obvious procedural penalty or misdemeanor / felony, it was not getting called because there was no fans in the stands. It was purely a television product.
Yes.
And people on television don't want to sit there and watch a flag parade. So here we go.
So that's where we're at. I'm looking at Minnesota. We got Chargers in Minnesota tonight. The Chargers are 3-point favorite against the Vikings tonight. The Jets, with all the talk about Justin Fields and everything else, they're 6.5-point dogs to the Bengals this weekend. Say what you want about how things are with the Eagles and the Giants. The Eagles still favorites at home against their AFC East opponents. They're 7.5-point favorites. You got New England and Cleveland. Again, another similar 7-point favorite for the New England Patriots, as everything is coming up Drake May so far this season. People are very excited about that. The Dolphins, despite the fact that they're circling the drain, they're only 7.5-point dogs to the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta.
What's that about?
They're an AB team, man. They lost last week. That means they're going to win this week.
I don't know, man. I just don't see the Dolphins find themselves in a situation where they're going to get up off the mat.
Atlanta is an AB team. They lost last week.
Oh, so
they're
win
going to win this week.
Gotcha. I misunderstood. And then let's see, your Colts. I was looking for lines that made like, all right, are people all in, right? And again, with DraftKings, the lines are subject to change. The lines and odds are subject to change. Against the Tennessee Titans, who fired their coach, they're 14-point favorites at home against the Titans. And again, I just illustrated all sorts of teams. I'm thinking, well, they're bad. Why are they just a touchdown dog? Well, they're bad. Why are they a touchdown dog?
14.
14.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of points, man. I'm surprised by that. Definitely surprised by that. I don't know. You ride the hot hand on that one since the Colts are just rolling right now?
General principles. I cannot take a double-digit line.
You just can't do it?
Scary.
Anyway, just looking at some of the lines, thanks to our friends at DraftKings. Not just the NFL, not just college, but the NBA as well. With the NBA being back, DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers, bet just $5 and you'll get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, you can score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. So here's what you do. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our promo code OG25. We got the NBA, we got the NFL, we got college football, we got the NHL. We got a throwback game tonight. I'm excited about that, which we'll talk about here in a second. And if you're a new customer, you haven't used this promo code yet, now's the time to do it, because when you use OG25, again, that's OG25 as a promo code, you bet $5, you'll get 3 months of League Pass, plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Is it time to hit the legal spot that you produced for me, Joe? Let's go.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Big thanks to our friends at Rowback. Giglio's rocking the double Rowback today. You got the Q-zip and the polo on today?
Mm-hmm.
I was at the fair yesterday. Saw a lot of folks wearing Rowback. Saw a lot of hoodies, which is very, very cool.
Smart.
I have doubled up on the layering button-down shirt.
The shacket.
The shacket. I've got the gray one. I got the brown one. Switched up, bought me a red. No, they don't have a red one yet, but they might. You never know. You don't know what Rowback might do. In the meantime, use our promo code. I actually had somebody in the media hit me up the other day. It's like, hey, man, what's that promo code again?
Here we go.
You got any of them promo codes? Got any of them? Yeah. Okay, cool. Use that promo code OG20. Go to rowback.com, RHOBACK.com. Big thanks to Brassfield Accounting in Homer, Alaska. I don't think they dealt with an AWS problem last week or this week because they're all the way in Homer.
Oh, okay.
I bet you they have their own broadband lines out there as opposed to us here on the East. So go to brassfieldaccounting.com. Chris is going to take care of you as a fractional CFO. Mike Maniscalco, he might be your fractional Canes expert.
Yeah.
Joe Giglio might be your fractional Rowback expert. I might be your fractional NC State fair food whisperer. But Chris, he is a fractional CFO. So see what he can do for you, especially if you're dealing with government grants, even while it's shut down. Go to brassfieldaccounting.com. Again, that's brassfieldaccounting.com. All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe, and let's go to the OG Sports Phone, shall we?
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports Phone and curse or don't.
All right, let's go to a 919.
Hey, it's Kyle again. I'm still mad about this stolen valor game. Listen, I don't need Hartford Whalers throwbacks to go see the Hurricanes right now. I don't. Like, why do they need to do this? You know what's drawing me to go see the Hurricanes? A winning record and continuing appearances in the playoffs. And Seth Jarvis playing out of his mind. And that Stormy logo, that's cool. That's a cool logo. Let's use that. The C with the Hurricanes flags, that's a cool logo. Let's use that. Like, congratulations. The Hartford Whalers logo is blue and green, and it's got the cute hidden little H in the negative space. That's so fun. I loved it when I heard about it from sportslogos.net in 2010. That's awesome. Good job. Let's focus on the here and now. The Hurricanes are good. The Hurricanes brand should be good, and therefore the Hurricanes should be maximizing their brand. There we go. Let's talk about maximizing our brand more on the Hockey Talk, guys. The Whalers are dead. The Hurricanes have been around as a franchise longer than the Hartford Whalers existed. We need to move on.
I think people have moved on.
It's fired up. I like that passion.
The Whalers thing,
it's passion.
The Carolina Hurricanes using the Hartford Whalers throwback uniforms, making people feel this type of way is fascinating to me. in that, would you rather the Whalers be completely forgotten?
Which they were for the first 20 years.
Peter Karmanos is no longer the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes. He's no longer associated with the pain that people claim when we see the Whalers jersey and the Canes and everything else. He's no longer the owner. It's been nearly 30 years since the Hartford Whalers moved from Hartford to North Carolina and rebranded as the Carolina Hurricanes. And yet I still see pieces like Mark Lazarus from The Athletic. He wrote this piece about the Whalers, and I'm just going to quote him here. Can we talk about the Whalers thing? Have the Hurricanes taken this too far? It's one thing to acknowledge your franchise's history, and the Whalers are the Hurricanes' history, but it's another to rub an entire state's nose in it. Whalers fans are still out there. And how do you think they feel every time the team that ditched them shows up in these admittedly magnificent jerseys to the strains of Brass Bonanza? Seemingly every summer of my childhood, the Islanders were on the verge of moving to Kansas City or Portland or Quebec. And if someone had stolen my team away, it would have been infuriating to me to see them parading around in the Islanders logo on some non-island somewhere. So I feel Hartford's pain here. I'm torn because I love the Whalers uniforms and seeing them makes me smile every time, but I'm not a Whalers fan and making money, which again is the point of this endeavor. Off another city's pain feels a little icky to me. So this idea that
it's a lot.
That is a lot.
Shoosh.
That is a lot. That is a lot. And this idea that Tom Dundon or the Carolina Hurricanes are somehow making money off of another city's pain from a stolen team is misguided, in my opinion. It's completely misguided. I find it interesting that it's the fault of the Carolina Hurricanes for tapping into Whalers nostalgia that before Tom Dundon bought the team. Do you know what was more readily available in the NHL flagship store in New York?
Hartford
Whalers gear.
Yeah.
Hartford Whalers gear.
Wait, you mean I own the rights to this logo?
Yeah. You mean it's part of the team's history?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it comes down to. This wasn't the Browns leaving Cleveland for Baltimore and leaving the name and leaving the records and leaving their history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that decision was made to, I think perhaps the Cleveland franchise paid the NFL something.
Yeah.
The carcass of the franchise paid the NFL something. I think the Seattle Supersonics have done something similar for Seattle just in case they ever get a team again. But
yeah,
if you don't make a deal like that and you're Tom Dundon, who loves money, well, guess what?
Well,
you're going to look at an asset and go, well, that's my asset. Why wouldn't I capitalize on my asset?
And that's if you look at it strictly from a money perspective, okay, fine. But nobody wants to hear it's just naked capitalism, even though we can sit here and tell you that sports at the end of the day is naked capitalism.
What else is it?
Right.
Okay.
But I can tell you what it is, right? It's acknowledging the past and maybe turning somebody on who has no idea what the Whalers are, right? Again, I bring this up and I'm not trying to be sarcastic about this. It's been nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
So after all this time, all the Whalers fans out there, it's been nearly 30 years. How many Whalers fans still exist? You see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking a couple of generations now that have grown up without the Whalers in the grand scheme of things. And again, I'll reiterate this. Peter Karmanos is gone. And before Tom Dundon bought them, the NHL happily tapped into this stuff and nobody blinked an eye. And there's clearly a market for it. That's the other thing. Everybody admits that's a really cool logo. Love that logo. It makes me smile. I love seeing it. Brass Bonanza is a banger. Okay, well, if there's a market for it, would you rather it not be would you rather it just be relegated to the dustbin of history and we never see it again?
Like the Colorado Rockies? That's what the Devils were before.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we all recognize the logo is cool, if we all recognize that it's a really neat part of NHL history, well, then why not allow for a Whalers Nordiques night that's going to look good on television? And that's really what it always comes back down to, too. I know sports is a whole bunch of different things, but at the end of the day, sports is entertainment to me. I know it's not entertainment for everybody, but you don't get to this pinnacle. You don't make as much money as you do as a league if you don't position yourself as something that is entertaining. And I'm sorry, watching the Nordiques jerseys versus Whalers jerseys is entertaining. And it clearly scratches an itch for people, so much so that they are willing to spend a shitload of money on this merch. The market demands it. I'm sorry that there are still some Whalers fans out there that feel the quote-unquote pain of a team being quote-unquote stolen. You weren't stolen. A team was purchased. The owner and the city could not come to an agreement on how to go moving forward with that building. And the owner, well within his rights, said, fine, I'm going to take it somewhere else. Tale as old as time in sports. It's a cold business. But hey, man, I would rather see the Whalers uniform out there than not.
Why were all of the logos better in the 70s?
That's a great question.
I mean, look at that Colorado Rockies logo.
I mean, Florida Marlins logo originally was also cool too.
That's the 90s. This is the 70s.
There's a brief moment in time. There was a brief moment in time in the 90s where the logos were too much. Like, remember the Oilers went from, the classic design, and they had this weird alternate for like a hot minute, which was like gears and whatnot, and this like very like aerodynamic
phallic
piece of oil coming through.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily like it. All right, let's go to another sports phone call. It's brought to you by Nature's Relief. Check them out online at naturesreliefhempstore.com. Let's go to a 919.
What's up, fellas? My sincerest condolences in that the A&M mouth breathers have algorithmically discovered you guys and gotten in all your socials. Those guys are insufferable. I went to the 18 Gator Bowl down there and was actually very much looking forward to it because I said, hey, they're like us, like you guys like to say. Just got the oil money, just got a hell of a lot higher population. But I was like, yeah, similar academic degree programs, our brethren, if you will. Hell no. Jimbo ran up the score. I was forced to stick around for the game because they were doing a free fireworks at midnight for New Year's. And I couldn't stand those guys. So, piss on them. So, very sorry they're bothering y'all. How about NBA starting up tonight? We're fired up, right? Hornets going to do something. Hope springs eternal. If but not for nothing else, I'm excited because we get John Tesh, NCSU alum, breaking out that NBA theme song on NBC again. Strong nostalgia vibes there. Anyways, y'all have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ironically, the call coming in just at the right time because, like, with the Whalers, it's about nostalgia too, man. People love nostalgia.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely going to cash in on the nostalgia. I mean, hi. Look at this damn studio. It's nothing but nostalgia. All right, let's go to 910.
Hey, guys. Jack from Raleigh here. Not a sports call, but a state fair call. I went to the fair yesterday with my wife.
Oh, you know what? That was actually for the mailbag. I played the wrong one. Let's go to 919.
What's up, fellas? My sincerest condolences.
Did that one already, too. I'm off my game. Let's go to 704.
Hey, guys. Will from Raleigh. Listening to today's episode and the part about why are all these coaches getting fired and the coaching carousel, why it's so crazy this year. You guys kind of talked about, the existential dread that programs in the Big Ten and SEC will probably feel because they don't want to get left behind by the other big programs in those conferences, and then the even worse existential dread of ACC and Big 12 schools who need to prove they're serious about these sports for possible realignment reasons. And then, of course, there's the just human nature and not wanting to get left out and comparison being bad. But I think a really important reason, and I forget if you guys touched on it or not, but that could be expanded on is the end of college amateurism as NIL and revenue sharing. Our players are getting paid millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Or we're going into these athletic departments, and so now instead of it being, yeah, this guy's a coach and we're paying him a good wage, and these players are here for development, and what we used to sell people about college football, that's out the window. This is all transactional now. I think that the fans know it, the schools know it, and so instead of this loyalty that there used to be between the players and the school and the coach and fan bases and players, that's just, for better or worse, it's dying. And so performance and money is more important than everything else. So I think that's a big ultimate driver of why these coaches, no one's sticking with it because this is about money now, and all other, codes of honor we might have had in the past are gone. Thanks, guys. Doing a great job. So.
Thoughts?
Fair.
You're done.
Fair.
Ready to wrap it up?
Fair.
Sleepy?
No, I'm okay. I'm alive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like you're about to take a nap.
Potentially, but I'm also looking at the clock and I'm going, I got in trouble for 2 hours.
Well, you know why this is going longer?
No.
Because we had audio mishap.
Yeah, I know.
So I had about 5 minutes of troubleshooting in there.
There was.
We also had.
We knocked out some ads though. It was good. It was.
We did. We did knock out some ads.
Paul entertained me. Ken entertained me. So we made it.
Also, here's the thing. It's cool when I go 2 hours.
Mm.
You see what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Fair.
When I go 2 hours, it's cool. When you go 2 hours, nah, man, not cool.
Not cool.
Not cool, bro. Not cool.
I know it won't take you 2 hours to post it. So
hey, it'll take me 2 seconds. Theoretically. Theoretically. I was going to wrap it up for today's show. I'll save the rest of these for the mailbag, which we will be doing live. Well, not live. We'll be recording it from Lonnie Pool tomorrow morning.
Yes, big day.
Will you be alive and frisky then?
That's a morning. I mean,
and you're about to golf.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to throw you off your game, is it?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, not that format. That format's that's an easy day.
Yeah, Paul says Ovies thinks he's better than you, Giglio. No, that's not what I said. I said it was cooler. Cool. There's a difference. I also know Giglio's tell when he's done.
Yeah. I'm ready.
No. You know what tell is when you're done?
Mm-mm.
It's that. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Mhm.
Where you
Uh-huh.
Well, sometimes you play calls that I just feel like I'm like, okay.
No, even when I'm talking. Like I say something and you just go, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, all right. I'm dealing with my 17-year-old.
No notes.
Right. Maybe that's what you should do. Mix it up. Instead of just going, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, no notes, man.
Nope. 10 out of 10.
5 stars. You need the wrap it up box. Let's go. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow.